What's up, A to Z Sports Titans Game Day Live here on a Sunday, 11:32, 28 minutes away from kickoff between the Titans 0-2, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, also 0-2, in a must-win Feel game in Week 3 as we head into the last Sunday of September, the first Sunday of the fall season officially. Jack Gentry in for Zach Bingham this morning and throughout the day on Titan Game Day Live. So hope everybody is getting geared up for Titans Raiders. The weather outside in Nashville is fantastic, so shouldn't have any issues when it comes to Nissan Stadium weather throughout the game. So we're going to go through our pregame show, our halftime, and our postgame show today. Going to have some good conversations and react to what is, as Hammer says, a huge game on YouTube. So welcoming everybody. Jack, I'm going to have you tell people what they got to do before we officially get going in our Titan Game Day Live pregame show.
Big game for the Titans today. While you guys are filing in, make sure if you're watching on Facebook to share that show. Share it to your groups. Text your friends the link. If you're watching via Twitter, make sure to retweet that link. YouTube, same deal. I know you guys are in Titans text group, so copy that YouTube link, send it in there. Same thing for you Twitchers. And let's get all your friends in here. This is a huge game. Let's all come here. Let's talk about it. What do the Titans need to do to beat the Raiders today? I'm excited. This is a must-win. Let's see what happens. Austin, let's have a show.
Yeah, let's do it. And our Titans Game Day Live pregame show is presented by the NoDat app. It is the NoDat app pregame show. Download the NoDat app and discover your city on your terms. NoDat makes it easy to connect with local businesses and events that matter to you, so you never have that FOMO feeling again. Download the NoDat app. The link right there in the description on Facebook and on YouTube. Also presented by MrGoodroof.com, Buddy Allen Carpet One, Nashville.com, the Crumble Cookies app, and the BetMGM app. More about the rest of our game day sponsors throughout the day. So must win, absolutely sure. It is a must win, Jack. And there are some key players out for the Tennessee Titans today. I'll go through the key players inactive for the Raiders real quick, Jack. Hunter Renfrow. That's basically it. Those are the only notable names to Titans fans who are out for the Raiders. And then you have a longer list of Titans inactive today. We already knew that Bud Dupree, Ola Adeni, and Ugo Amadi were going to be out. They were ruled out on Friday. But Kyle Phillips, battling a shoulder injury, was doubtful on Friday's injury report. And Kyle Phillips is out today as well. And I saw some reports coming from Titans media members on the field that returning punts today in pregame warmups, Robert Woods, Amani Hooker, and Traylon Burks. So, Jack, it is a must-win feel. How are you feeling today as we get ready to have kickoff coming up here in a few 25 minutes or so?
It's a must-win, but as long as you're in the AFC South, I don't know that you can call anything before like Week 10 a must-win football game. I mean, you can go into Week 10, 3-7 and still be like 2 games out of this division. That's how bad it's been so far. But it's absolutely a must-win for the Titans because, I mean, through the first 2 games, this offense has looked stagnant. I mean, Todd Downing's he's got to ditch the pitch. Tannehill's got to get everybody involved, and I know that he's dealing with a new cast of toys here, but we haven't seen much from the tight ends. The injuries on the Titans side are going to be tough. They're already down Harold Landry. They're already down Taylor Lewan now for the rest of the season. They're missing a couple key pass rushers today, but on the Raiders side, I mean, this is a Titans secondary that just got lit up by Josh Allen and those Bills receivers. So Hunter Renfrow not suiting up today is definitely a plus for this Titans secondary, who's got to get back on its feet after really a national embarrassment on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, does Christian Fulton being back make you feel better? Because, Trey Avery will not be lined up on Davante Adams this Sunday like he was against Stephon Diggs Monday night in Buffalo. But how much does Christian Fulton being back today after missing Monday night make you feel a little bit better, Jack?
A lot better. A lot better with Christian Fulton out there. What I saw out of Trey Avery was not what you want to see out of a guy in the NFL, right? I saw more of Trey Avery's back. Like, I could read his name tag every time that the camera was on him because he was always chasing dudes down the field. You don't want that to happen. And Caleb Farley doesn't seem like he's ready yet either. I have faith in McCreary on that side, but you bring back Fulton in. And last year, Fulton had a really good season. Before this season started, he was one of the guys that is like, he could make that Pro Bowl leap this year if he can continue that forward momentum. And I know he had a little knee cleanup in the offseason, but He's back this week. That's big time for the Titans. He's experienced covering big time receivers, and he's done decent jobs when he goes up against some of these guys. So he's got his hands full with Devontae Adams today, but no Renfro kind of takes a little bit of pressure off this Titans secondary.
Yeah, and Lane says, so sick of the laundry list of injuries. Something's got to change. Something has got to change. It's only week 3. Yeah, it's only week 3, and it seems like the Titans injury bug is picking up from where it left off a year ago, because you've already seen knee injuries knock out some players so far. Harold Landry right before the season began, then Trenton Cannon and Taylor Lewan both having significant knee injuries Monday night against Buffalo. And now the shoulder with Kyle Phillips. The more that I saw Kyle Phillips practicing and only able to raise up his right hand to catch one-handed passes was a problem. And so without Kyle Phillips, you're kind of concerned overall on really what this offense can do from a quickness to get open, to move the chains, because it's going to be so important, as Jack, you mentioned, that, with this high-powered Raiders offense with Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, no Hunter Renfro, but those two guys alone with Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs can make things scary. The Titans offense has to move the football. They cannot kill themselves like they did the first couple of games of the season and get behind the sticks. And so there's so many things that you're focused on about this game, Jack. And I always come back to Todd Downing and how his play calling does for making the players on the field be put in a better situation to succeed. If they do a Derrick Henry toss in the first half, I'm going to lose my mind on the halftime show and on Twitter. They cannot put themselves in bad, long down and distances because of bad play calling decisions. If they get sacked, if they have a run gets stuffed, it's not a toss, then okay, you have to live with those things, but it can't be bad decisions coming from the coaching staff.
You're exactly right. And this team hasn't looked prepared. Now, I don't know if that's a coaching problem. It sure looks like it is through 2 weeks, but it's not just the execution on offense. The offense doesn't look coordinated. You're right. Todd Downing is to blame for that. But this Titans team is taking a ton of penalties early on in the season. Did you know that since Mike Vrabel was hired, the Titans have never finished worse than 17th in the NFL in team penalties? The entire league, they've never even been in the top half. Yeah. This year, they're in the top 5 through 2 games. That's got to get cleaned up. It's a young offense. That's okay. It's a pretty young defense. And with these guys out today, I mean, there's going to be new rotational pieces coming in without a lot of NFL experience. They've got to get that cleaned up. Todd Downing's got to ditch the pitch. And he's got to remember that you don't just have to wait till 3rd down to move the chains. You can move them on 1st or 2nd down. Take a big shot. They haven't been doing that.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see who steps up today on offense to make some plays. But Jack, let's go ahead and get to our first segment of the day. It is the Know Dat segment. It is, what do you know that the Titans will do well today against the Raiders? What do you know that the Titans will do well today against the Raiders? And don't be the last to know that. Download the Know Dat app. The link is in the description on Facebook and YouTube. Seriously, guys, just download the app. Give it a shot. It's created by a native Nashvilleian, Erica, who does a great job with what this app is. So download the Know Dat app and make it easy to connect you with local businesses and events that matter to you in your city, around your city. I downloaded the Know Dat app right before week 1, and I found an interesting event that I'm actually curious about that's coming up in like 2 weeks from now because I didn't even know it was coming, but I downloaded the Know Dat app and got it. So close out the useless local search tab, say goodbye to invasive advertising on your mobile device, and forget about FOMO. With Know Dat, you'll never miss out on information, opportunities, and events and deals that matter to you. So download the Know Dat app, can literally save you some money. Stay in the know with the Know Dat app. So Jack, I'll let you start. Is what do you know that the Titans will do well today against the Raiders? And then I'll go down here and get some people in the chat involved.
Well, I'll pick up right where I left off. Big plays. I know that they're going to take some shots today. I know that. Okay. Titans are 28th in the NFL in big plays. 28th. They haven't been taking shots down the field, but more importantly, they have just one rush of 10 yards or more on the season. That came in week 1 against the New York Giants. No big plays in the running game throughout the entire season. Derrick Henry's got to get going. The offensive line is a makeshift deal. A couple new guys coming in. They're still trying to really figure out where everybody, meshes up front. But they've got to make some room for Derrick Henry up there. You got to move some guys around. 8 big plays all season long, 28th in the NFL. A big play is defined by either a 10-yard rush, 10 or more yards on the ground, or 20-plus yard completion. The Titans have 7 20-plus yard completions on the year, but just one 10-plus yard rush. That's got to change today. I think that they'll be able to do it. I'm worried about Max Crosby and Chandler Jones today. That's what I'm worried about. But I think you got to give Derrick Henry what makes Derrick Henry so good. He's 250 pounds in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a head of steam. He's gonna pick up 3 at where he's gonna fall forward every time. He's not gonna get hit in the backfield. But when you run that toss play, what you do is you negate all his forward momentum. What makes him so good? What makes him so hard to tackle? Instead of going north-south, now he's got to move laterally and then start back upfield. That's not going to work today against this Raiders front. So you got to switch it up. You've got to create lanes in the blocking game for Derrick Henry, and you've got to get those big plays on the ground.
Yeah, and like that's interesting. So you brought up the 8 explosive plays on offense. Jack, all 8 of those came against the New York Giants. 7 passing plays and the 1 Derrick Henry run over 10 yards all came against the New York Giants in week 1. So 0 explosive plays for the Titans offense against the Buffalo Bills because they only gained like 100 total yards after the second drive of the game, which is pretty pathetic there overall. So what do you know that the Titans will do well today versus the Raiders? I'm going to go to the chat. Caleb says, I know that Stonehouse will boom some balls in the punting game. Nas says, I know that Burks is going to have 100 yards. Chris Vonta says, this is the day that Downing is getting fired. Don't hold your breath on that. Don't kill John says, rush the passer up the middle. Valentino says, know that the aggression is needed. I think that's a good answer from Valentino. The Titans have to be the aggressors today. Sean says, I know that Henry has to have a great game. Right. I definitely think that too, because there was a couple other people that commented there today. G-Man says, run the ball. And somebody else said that Chris says, I know that Henry will go over 100 yards rushing for the first time this year. The Raiders are not that good against the run. There's Stanley. I know that the Titans will run well today. 100 yards for King Henry. So a lot of people are big on Derrick Henry. Orlando says, I know that Devontae Adams won't go off like everyone thinks. What do you think about that? I mean, Devontae Adams had a big week 1 for the Raiders, but a quiet week 2 against the Cardinals for the Raiders in that come from behind loss to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Like, what are you thinking from Orlando's comment of Devontae Adams will not go off here?
Well, here's what makes me concerned. Like, the Titans knew that Stephon Diggs was the only guy on that Bills offense that was going to hurt you in the passing game, right? No Gabe Davis last weekend, no Hunter Renfrow this weekend. So you would figure that they would be able to concentrate on one of the NFL's best wide receivers in Devontae Adams this week. Well, they didn't do it against Stephon Diggs, and they didn't have Christian Fulton last week. I expect Christian Fulton to really play a part in containing Devontae Adams. You're not going to stop the guy. He's too good to stop. You just got to hope he doesn't burn you. Let someone else beat you, whether it's Waller, whether it's Josh Jacobs, whoever else fills in on the outside for the Raiders today. Make those guys beat you. Don't let Devontae Adams kill you in this passing game because he can. So give him a little extra attention with Fulton out there. I think it helps a lot. So I'm leaning with Orlando here, but I got to see it to believe it, Austin. I've got to see it. I can't just believe that the Titans are going to stop it. I need to see some evidence because they did not show that last week against Diggs, and it was really a very similar situation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I know that, Jack. And by the way, download the Know That app. Download it now. The link to download the app is in the YouTube and Facebook video description there. And let me just say this. You do not have to be in Nashville to use the Know That app. It locates to wherever you're at. So Erica and the Know That team have done a great job with this. It goes countrywide, worldwide. So download the Know That app today. So I know that Jeffrey Simmons going to ball out today because I also know that Jeffrey Simmons doesn't have 2 bad games in a row. And Jeffrey Simmons was not that noticeable Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. He was unable to truly get consistent pressure up the middle on Josh Allen. So what do you have to do to get Derek Carr off of his game? And without Bud Dupree and without Ola, like if you're going to be rolling with the Wyatt Ray and Joe Joneses of the world, and along with Rashad Weaver, like Rashad Weaver's a good player. We know that. We like what he's doing so far early in his career this season. But I think Jeffrey Simmons, Danico Autry, and Naquan Jones and Tier Tart, those guys in the middle have to be really good about the interior offensive line for the Raiders. And the interior offensive line for the Raiders is not that good when it comes to pass protection. They do allow a lot of pressure from the center guard triangle there. So if Jeffrey Simmons and his friends up front in the middle can get pressure, that'll help out the inferior edge rushers the Titans are rolling with today because Bud Dupree and Ola Daney are both out. So I know that Big Jeff's going to have a big day.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
And then you know that the Raiders are going to be sending extra attention to Jeffrey Simmons in the middle. So these guys on the edge who are filling in, they're going to have opportunities. Rashad Weaver especially. I liked what I've seen from Weaver. And, we haven't seen much of him in the regular season throughout his career. An injury last year kind of set him back. But in the preseason, he was flashing. And he has the ability to just bulldoze dudes back into the quarterback. So I expect a big game from Rashad Weaver on the outside. Somebody on that edge has got to set the tone. He's got to get to Carr at least once. I think the Titans win this game maybe with a sack fumble. So you got to get to Carr, got to disrupt him, got to really make him, think twice about holding on to that ball too long because, if he's got time back there, he's capable of killing you.
Absolutely. A to Z Sports here live on our Titan pregame show presented by the NoDat app. We are 12 minutes away from kickoff between the Titans and the Raiders. And Jack, we've talked a lot about what the Titans will do well today, but who's got the good matchup today for the Tennessee Titans? And Jack, actually, think I have an idea where you're going for this because of a story you wrote at A2ZSports.com this past week. But who's got the good matchup presented by Mr. Goodroof? Mr. Goodroof, they are your local, fully insured, licensed, specialized roofers, gutters, and windows specialists. So check them out. They have a stellar A-star rating on the Better Business Bureau, locally owned and operated from Hendersonville, Tennessee. So check out MrGoodroof.com whenever you have those roofing issues. We're about to enter storm season, especially here in Middle Tennessee. Let Mr. Goodroof come out and inspect your roof for free. Work directly with all insurance companies and make the process as easy and as stressless as possible for their customers. Mr. Goodroof, owned by the McCray family for over 20 years. So check them out, MrGoodroof.com, for who has the good matchup today. Jack, where are you going to go with this?
Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper. Hoop. I expect to hear a lot of hoop in Nissan Stadium today. The Raiders have had trouble covering tight ends. Through 2 games, the Raiders defense has allowed opposing tight ends to catch 15 balls for 155 yards and 1 touchdown. What they like to do is they like to use their linebackers to do this. Old friend Jayon Brown. Jayon Brown and Austin Hooper, I think that matchup could really, turn the tables in today's game. Austin Hooper's got to get involved on offense. Everybody was very excited throughout the offseason. Oh, Ryan Tannehill and Austin Hooper, they've got this great connection in camp. Where has that been? He's caught 2 passes in 2 games. Chigga, I think he needs to get more involved in the passing game. Downing likes to you kind of see Downing attempt to carve out a Jonnu Smith role for Chig, but he's not on the field enough to really impact the game right now. Austin Hooper is the most experienced pass catcher that the Titans have, maybe besides Robert Woods, who hasn't really been effective this season. You've got to involve the tight end. Burks has been solid on the outside. I like what I see from Burks. Phillips, he'll make big catches from time to time.
But he's not even – Phillips isn't even active today.
That's the issue. So without Phillips in the lineup, this is the game to go to Hooper. They're gonna match up with their linebackers. Jayon Brown's gonna have revenge on his mind today, but I think Tannehill's got to look for Hooper, especially in the red zone. So Austin Hooper has the matchup.
What was the stat again? Raiders allowing what against tight ends so far this season?
15 catches for 155 yards and a touchdown. They've gone up against Gerald Everett of the Chargers and old man Zach Ertz against the Cardinals. So better tight ends, probably better quarterbacks than what the Titans are dealing, but I think it's a matchup.
I mean, Zach Ertz is towards the tail end of his career. I think Gerald Everett's not like
he's not a world beater by any means.
No, I think Austin Hooper is absolutely on par with those 2 tight ends. But 8.5 or 7.5 catches a game from tight ends
for
so
75.
Far.
Yeah, 7 for 75 is the average right now.
So there's no reason why Austin Hooper should not be involved early. And that's what I was getting at or earlier in this pregame show, is that the Titans have to put themselves in successful situations to run Derrick Henry on third downs. They haven't been able to run Derrick Henry on third downs because they're in third and long and have to throw the ball. And so if you can get and have success early on first down and then have success on second down, maybe you avoid third down altogether, like you said, and then I think Austin Hooper is a weapon to be able to do that. Jack, I went all in Friday morning on our show saying that the Titans have to unleash Treylon Burks to unlock their offense, because everybody, and I use the term that Buck uses, is that the Titans offense is constipated right now. Without the threat of somebody, without the defense knowing that a player like A.J. Brown can burn them deep at any given moment, that they're selling out on Derrick Henry. They're putting everybody in the box. They're saying, beat us over the top, if you will. And so Treylon Burks, I think, has a good matchup today, but he's got to play more than just like 38% of the snaps. Treylon Burks, is time to take the kid gloves off, is trying to stop being the overprotective parents that the Titans usually are on their rookies. It's time to let Treylon Burks play at least, I'm just going to ask 60% of the snaps. Just 60% of the snaps. And throw him the football, because he's been able to make plays. He's averaging 15 yards a catch on his 7 catches. Just give him more than 7 catches. Let the guy go out there and make plays, because whenever he does catch the ball or have the ball thrown at him, it tends to work out pretty well for the Tennessee Titans so far through 2 games. So throw the ball to Treylon Burks, get him off the sideline, and let him play some football today. Stop trying to protect him.
I like that. Take the training wheels off of Treylon.
Yes.
Now, even a few deep incompletions from Tannehill, as long as he's just throwing it 30, 40 yards down the field, he doesn't have to be caught. The defense has to respect that. So these safeties who are playing up, kind of crowding the box a little, making life tough on Derrick Henry, you just test them deep a couple times. That'll force those guys to take a couple steps back and think twice before overcommitting in the run game.
Yeah, it is eSports Live on our pregame show. We are about 5 minutes away from kickoff, and our prediction time, it is that time, Jack. We do score predictions. We do, you got to give us scores for both teams, not just a win-loss, but scores for both teams, presented by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and use our code ATOZ Sports, and you get a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000 to get your BetMGM life started. I had a not so great day yesterday in college football, but it's okay. I'm still plus for the season. But you guys download the BetMGM app, use code ATOZ Sports, risk-free bet up to $1,000 with that first bet. Jack, I'll have you go through your prediction, then I'll go to the comments here.
Good deal. I think points are gonna rain today. You know how Soccer Moses at Nashville SC says, "Let there be goals," or whatever it says. Let there be points today, because both of these defense are vulnerable in different areas. The Titans, both up front and in the secondary, there's questions about this team right now. I think there's going to be a lot of points. I think the Titans' offense is going to look a whole lot better today. Look, nobody knows that they need a big performance today more than the Titans do. They've been watching tape. They've been watching the film. I think Randy Bullock hits a game-winning field goal. The Titans win 31-28.
31-28. My goodness, those are a lot of points. There, Lane says 24-20. Tighten Up Ohio says 23-30. Is that supposed to be 33-30 there? Fat Randy with a walk.
It'll be a fake field goal. Randy Bullock's gonna run it in there. Win by 7.
Yeah, there you go. 28-24 there from Derek. 10-3 from Valentino. So he's expecting the opposite of what you guys are. Dave says 27-21. Jake says Titans haven't scored 31 through 2 games. It ain't happening today, Jack. So you're thinking 31 points. What, they've got 27 points so far this season in 2 games?
That's right. But I think today's the day where it all flips, at least for the time being. You don't want to start 0-3. Let me get this in before we get to kickoff.
Yeah.
6 teams since 1979 have started 0-3 and gone on to make the playoffs. So it's rare. The last team to do it, the Houston Texans. What division were they in? The AFC South. Nobody is dead after an 0-3 start in the AFC South. The Texans proved it a few years ago, but history is not on your side if you lose this game. 6 teams since 79 have made the playoffs starting 0-3.
I do think it's important to remember what the Raiders did by giving up a big lead to the Cardinals last week. So no lead is safe by either team in this game. But there's a lot of Raiders votes here of people thinking the Raiders are going to win.
Brian Badilla, 45-16.
There's a lot of Raiders votes. Now there's some Titans. There's some Titans in here, but Jack, I will say, I think the Titans are 0-3 after today. I do. I just don't see how they can consistently play top tier defense. I think early on the Titans defense will look good, then it'll fall off, and Devontae Adams will find the end zone today. So if you want to go to BetMGM, I think he's minus 130 on anytime touchdown. I think he's plus 300 on multiple touchdowns. So if you want to do that, go for it. I think it's a close game at halftime. I think our halftime show is going to be interesting, but I think the Titans lose out in the second half. And for the third week in a row, the Titans fail to do much of anything in the third quarter, and the Raiders win this game, and the Titans fall to 0-3, and we will have some serious things to talk about in the post-game show if I'm correct.
Man, it'll be the sky is falling post-game show if that ends up happening. Hey,
yep.
But Josh McDaniels has been running from Mike Vrabel for a long time. He had that Colts job if he wanted it, got a little cold feet. Vrabel was in the division. Now he's got Vrabel in Vrabel's house today. Who's got the edge on the coaching side? I don't know. It's hard to, believe in Todd Downing in this offense right now, but I do think Vrabel's the better coach. Josh McDaniels failed head coach in Denver before. He's cut his teeth calling plays for the Patriots, but when he's in charge, things haven't gone well. So the Raiders have to bounce back from a big-time loss. They could be, there's a chance that they could let one loss turn into two just by, thinking about that loss throughout the week. Maybe they lost focus for a day. One day in practice is a huge deal in this league. Let's see how focused the Raiders come out.
Yeah, I did see this. Charlie says, look at Teron Davenport's tweet about Randy Bullock's warm-up, and I'll read it from you. Teron Davenport about an hour ago. Right, Randy Bullock just missed 3 in a row from 46 left hash, 48 right hash, 47 hit the left post from the left hash, then right down the middle with room to spare from 50 on the next 2 attempts. So he missed 3 from 46, 48, 47 and drilled 2 50-yarders down the center. So, look.
That's the Randy Bullock experience for you, folks.
Yeah, just get it out of your system there, Randy. Oh, thank you, Justin. I forgot the score. You're absolutely right. I think it's 31-20. 31-20 Raiders win over the Titans. So, guys, we will see you at halftime right here on these same channels. Thanks again to all of our sponsors. They do a great job, and we're pumped to have them throughout the season. Download the NoDat app. Seriously, give it a shot. Download the app. What's another app on your phone, right? Download the NoDat app. It's the link to download is right there on YouTube and on Facebook descriptions. So check that out there and discover your city on your terms. Thanks as well to MrGoodroof.com, Buddy Allen Carpet One, Nashville.com, the Crumble Cookies app, and the BetMGM app. And we'll see you guys at halftime. Enjoy the first half. Talk to you soon.
Hoop!